All right, everybody, here we are together at last, and we have a lot to talk about. It is Thursday, September 12th, 2019. Here we go. Let's start off with the basics. As I am doing this video blog, trading has been on for about 40 minutes. Stocks have been in and out of positive territory. Again, all kinds of stuff getting thrown at this market, and we're going to talk about that. As I am doing this video blog, stocks are higher. They opened higher. Stock futures were way up after it was announced that President Trump was delaying tariffs on China. Had a little bit of a pullback. Stocks opened up higher. We went negative. Now we're back up again. It's crazy. Cryptocurrencies are putting on nice gains. Gold and silver are higher. And I want to show you this yield curve. All right, look at, you see? I don't know if you can appreciate this. There we go. Yield curve is, a little bit up right now. It was down earlier. See all the green on the side? All right, this is what we need to keep our eye on. Okay, so let's put together what has happened over the last 24 hours because it's really big. So we understand that yesterday, as a matter of fact, this was so minimal. It wasn't even announced really by the president. He didn't tweet about it. China decided that they were going to cut tariffs on a small amount of goods. And then, as we all know, yesterday, later in the day, the president delayed tariffs on $250 billion worth of goods from China. And the White House is playing this as an act of goodwill. But here's the truth. The Chinese trade minister made a request to President Trump. Would you delay these tariffs? And he did. That to me says a lot, and I'm sure it does to you as well. China's dictating the rules like they've been doing now for nearly 2 years, hanging the carrot in front of the president's face, and he goes after it, like it's the last carrot on the face of the earth. I think this was a tremendous mistake on the president's part. Does he want to win this trade war, or does he want to dabble in it? Does he want to get the United States and the American people a good deal? You don't call a truce here, or whatever you want to do here, call this, when you clearly state that the president of China is your enemy. All right, now they're best friends again. I guess they're kissing and loving each other. No, this is just ridiculous. And I don't think the president has even the slightest clue as to what he is doing right now. China is going to continue to string him along, play him like a grand piano, just like they've been doing for the better part of 2 entire years. So you call this what you want to, because I understand how it's going. There's a lot of these, diehard Trump supporters saying, "Oh no, this was reciprocal." Reciprocal, really? If you look at the amount of goods that China has decided to cut tariffs on and compare that amount to the $250 billion that the president just delayed, you'll see that your vision or your imagination is distorted. No, this was a cave 100%. Hashtag caveman. Now, let's move forward here from the trade surrender by the president. The European Central Bank has now embarked on an absolutely epic rate cutting spree, stimulus, bond buying. This is an act of desperation like you cannot believe. Yet, it's not really affecting the markets too much. I think the market gets it. You can't borrow your way out of this. Here in the United States as well, the president calling for zero rates, negative. It's unbelievable. It really is. But this is where we are at this particular time. It's embarrassing, honestly. Now, forever bonds are going to happen. Mnuchin came out this morning talking about forever bonds. Which will yield less than the rate of inflation. Imagine locking up cash for 50 to 100 years that are yielding, 1.2 9%, 2%. You gotta be nuts. But this is another act of desperation. They're trying to finance this whole thing by issuing forever bonds. This was also a suggestion, although this was not his. Don the Con brought this up several weeks ago. Let's move on a little further to Don the Con, because this is tremendous and it's going to be spun, but I want you to arm yourself with knowledge here. Core consumer prices just put on the largest gain year over year in 11 years. So when you hear Don the Con explain to you that there's no inflation and the Fed needs to go to zero or less than zero, negative, understand that you are being lied to. And if you don't say something about it, like for example when he tweets it, or if it's announced on CNBC, Bloomberg, or whatever, if you don't call these people out, then there's something wrong with you. Don the Con will get away with everything he's trying to con you on, like, for example, yesterday saying that negative rates is a good thing, following in the footsteps of Christine Lagarde, the felon, who couldn't get a job at 7-Eleven. Believe me, you can't make this stuff up if you tried. It's impossible to do. But that's where we are in this environment. All right, so let's just recap. Stocks are all over the place, despite the ECB's epic stimulus program they just announced, bond buying. They're going to go off the deep end now. You would expect stocks to be a lot higher. Maybe they will end the day that way. I do not know. This trade surrender, and that's what it was. The president has waved the white flag to China, okay? And I don't care what you might think. If you just rationalize and say, okay, so China did this on X amount of goods equals X, and then you look at what President Trump did, and you want to still justify this as a reciprocal thing? Well, that's because you have Trump delusion syndrome, okay? And you better start taking some medication. The president is caveman, and this is not how you win a trade war or try to get what you want from the Chinese. You think showing a sign of weakness is a way to get a deal from these people over there? You got to be kidding me. If you do, there's something really awry in your brain, and you need to sit back and think about what's happening to you or the people around you that are trying to convince you that this is what's happening. It's incredible. Truly is. Forever bonds, they're coming. Act of desperation as well. And again, core consumer inflation year over year, the largest gain in 11 years. And the president's going to try to convince you again, maybe even today, that there's no inflation and the Fed needs to go to zero or negative. All right? Now, for those of you that would like to present a logical argument, write it here. Let's see what you got. With that said, I'm out of here. I got to get back to work. One trade for me so far today. Little profit. I'm hoping to do a few more. Love all of you. Please share this video. See you later.